To get started with this pathway, we've got to use Google Data Studio. It's a really intuitive program and it's really easy to start using. All you need is a Google or Gmail account and you'll be able to start making your own reports. What we want to do is we want to add our data to the report. We've added a file within the pathway called Data Analyst Pathway Task. It's an Excel file and it's super easy to download. And then to upload it to Data Studio, we'll get this prompt here. If not, you'll want to click this Add Data button in the report and we'll want to choose File Upload. You'll want to go and click to upload files where you'll be able to find the task in your folders. Mine appears on the left because I've already loaded it, but once we click that, we'll wait for the status to become uploaded and then you can add it to the report to begin working with. Now we've loaded in our data, we can start having a look around Google Data Studio. On the right hand side here, we've got the data column with the file that we've just uploaded. It has all the fields that we've got in there. We've got the number of visitors, which is self-explanatory, the bounce rate, which is a percentage of the people that leave the site without making an action, the browser type, the content tag, which for this context, it is a sector. We've got the content type, there it is, the associated date of all of these metrics, the device category, and the sessions. This is also the total amount of the number of the elements within the table. All we have to do to begin working with our data is pull it in. We'll pull over the number of visitors. It will load in, there's just the total number in the whole file. And you'll see this tab now pops up. This gives us the option to change our visualization into a variety of different ones. And it's up to you to choose the best way of representing your data. It has the data source here. You can add a date range dimension. The metric it's looking at the moment, the number of visitors is set to sum. We could change this and have a look at the average, the count distinct, and all these other ones. And then we also have the options to add a filter. Adding a filter is really useful. It enables us to narrow down on certain data aspects, perhaps to get a more specific view. All you have to do to add a filter is click Add Filter, come up with a name of your filter, select a field that you'd want to make the filter on. We could have a look for number of visitors with the content type, select condition, there's equals, contains, and a variety of other option ones. We'll go with equals, and we'll have a look for those that have equals to advice. And we can just give this a name of advice. Save that. And it will automatically apply that. You'll see it's come up down here and it will go to 8,700,000. So this is really useful and you'll probably definitely want to use it within the tasks. At the top here, it looks a bit like Word. You've got your regular tabs and these enable you to add charts, add some images and text, change the theme and layout. And this is all great for creating more visualizations that look appealing and tell the story that you want to tell as well. We're now going to run through making an example visualization. The one we're going to make is a sessions breakdown month by month comparing to the last few years. Something like this is really useful and it comes up day to day as a data analyst. So I'm just going to give you a quick example of how to make it. What we're going to want to do is pull in the sessions field into here. And then on the right hand side, we can then change the type of the chart. We're going to want to change it to a time series chart. And we can see that the date range dimension comes in already, as well as the dimension down here. If we expand this out, make it look a bit bigger, that's starting to look like something we want. What we're now going to want to do though is change the dimension from the date. We're not going to want every single date possible in that date range. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to date, type, date and time, and change it to just the month of the year. This now shows that it's January, March, May, July, September, November, December. What we're going to want to do though is change the style of this. So we have the setup where you pull in all your types of fields. Style is where you do your editing. And we're going to want to make a nice bar chart. So we're just going to change series 1 into bar. So it's now plotted 12 bars of the sessions in each of those months. To add to the second, to compare to the different years, what we're going to want to do is break down dimension. And this, we're going to do a similar thing we did the dimension, but just for the year. We're going to add dimension and we're going to go into date. Once we've got that, we can then edit the date and we're going to want to choose year. We've set the date range dimension to date as well, and this now gives us the opportunity to change the default date range. So we don't want all these years, we're just going to go for the last 3 years, and having a more concise data set gives a much more easy to read view. So we can use these for the last 3 years. So we can just go minus 3 years. And we'll leave the other one as just as today. We'll actually change it to 2. So this will get rid of 2018 and 2019 in that graph, but as you can see, the other series are plotted as lines. So we'll go back into the style options and find series number 2 and series number 3 and change these also both to bars. So now we can see how it's changed in January from all of the years across, and that's a really nice view to have because we can have a direct comparison there, as well as hovering over them and seeing the numbers associated with them. We can then further go on to edit the graph to add whatever colors you want. You can add annotations to help explain your data, and all of these are really useful because not everyone who's going to look at your data will understand it at a glance like you might. We've already gone through all of the fields contained within the data set that we've given you, but you might want to expand on that. What we can always do is add another field. It gives us the opportunity to write a formula to do so. So one that is really useful for this sort of task could be sessions per user, and this will be able to tell us how many sessions each user is having on average, which is a great measure for engagement to see if they're coming back and reading the content. And it's really easy to add fields such as this. We'll want to give it a name. We'll just go for sessions per user. And this formula, all you have to do is just type it in and it will come up, and we'll want number of user, number of visitors. So type in this formula, it will check if the syntax is correct, and we've got a nice tick, and we'll be able to save that, and it will come up on the left hand side in the column with all the other fields. And it's just as interactive as all the other ones, so it'll be able to pull in for all of them, and it will associate to each of them. So it's really useful to do so. Alright, so that's all the help and advice I'm going to give you at the moment. Google Data Studio is a really helpful platform, and it's widely used everywhere in businesses. And this means there's lots of people online who've had issues as well. If you do get stuck, don't be afraid to go and have a look on the internet. It's a great skill to have for a data analyst to be able to search up specifically their problem and interpret other people's issues and their solutions as well, and being able to apply them in your scenario. I'd say now just crack on with the task, make sure you read through all of them first and understand if there's any crossover so you can do duplications for some tasks. It will save you a lot of time in the long run, and hopefully you'll be able to get through them all.